So in this video, we're going to talk about how we can make graphs with the data we have in a Google Sheet. So what I'm going to do is I want to make a line graph to kind of see the trends on these quiz scores and kind of see, if I can start to see patterns start to show up for different students. So the first thing I'm going to do is click and highlight the cells I'm going to have want to show up. I'm not going to worry about the averages because that doesn't show me like individual trends. So click and highlight what you want to have show up in your graph. And then up here at the top, you'll see what looks like a little bar graph icon. And it's going to say insert chart. It also is under the insert area here. You can see there's a chart item here as well. So hiding in both spots. And right away, I have a bar chart that tells me no information. So I'm going to go over here to my chart editor and I'm going to play around. So the first thing I want to do is change my chart type. And so Google will assume the type of chart. It almost always goes to bar graphs, but you can choose many different types here. This is a great time to have a discussion with your students about like which, what are the values of each different type of graph and why we would use different specific ones. Again, I'm looking for trends. So I'm going to go for a line chart. And then I want to change it up a little bit because right now I have all the kids' names down at the bottom, which doesn't help me. I want each line to be kids' names. So I'm going to go over here and have it do switch rows and columns. And a lot of times on charts, I just figure out what things do by clicking on them and seeing what happens. If it didn't do what I wanted to do, then I just set it back to how it was before. So don't be afraid to click different settings and just kind of play around with it until you get the graph you want. So now I have each line for each student and I can start to see trends and it's looking pretty good. However, I have all these dates at the bottom and I only want the dates of the actual quiz score that I used. So I'm going to go over here to customize and I'm going to play around with my axis. So I'm going to go to my chart axis and first of all, chart title should not be its chart title. So I'm going to put quiz scores as my title. And you can change the font, you can change the size, and you can see now I have quiz scores as my title. And then I'm going to go ahead and looking at my horizontal axis, I would like to change those because I don't want these all to show up. So I'm going to go to treat labels as text. And you can see now that my labels that were up here are in my actual data chart now become my labels on my graph. And so now only those 3 dates show up instead of having a bunch of dates that didn't mean anything. So I'm pretty happy with this, but again, you can go in and you can change more settings if you want. One of the nice things if you do want to make it a bit prettier is going up to your chart style. You can change your background color. So I could make this be like a nice gray. It's a little dark, go a little bit lighter. You can put different fonts in there. So again, you can customize it a little bit to work for you. When you're all done, you can click the X and you'll be out. But if you ever decide you want to edit your graph, there's a couple of things you can do. You can just double click on it and that will bring out your chart editor. Or if you click on this once, you will see this little 3-dot kebab menu. And you can see that it gives you some options as well. So you can put it on its own sheet so it's bigger. You can delete the chart. You can save it as an image if you just want an image to then move into another project that you're working on. Or you can open up the edit chart. So different things you can do with the graph. This is a great tool to use with your students as well when they want to start working on collecting real data and analyzing it, looking for trends, looking for patterns, and all of that.